Well, we have cool fall crisp air that it might be a shock to the system this morning as you head out the door in the northern tier. Freeze alerts are in effect, more than 13 million, so make sure you bundle the kids up. Plus, we have some tropical downpours. You see them here in this video and also here into the Bay of Campeche. We actually could see some flash flooding along the Gulf Coast. Moisture from a new area will help fuel that threat. We'll have all of these details coming up. Good morning and welcome into America's Morning Headquarters. I'm meteorologist Stephanie Abrams alongside meteorologist Jordan Steele and Molly McCollum. Jordan, second week of October, starting to feel like fall in a lot more places.
Yes,
well, we can get some of those tropical downpours in New Orleans, and thanks to our virtual view reality, I'm standing here on the banks of the mighty Mississippi. You see all these sunny skies. They are actually going to give way to tropical moisture in the Gulf by midweek, and the rain's going to be a welcome sight, because we've been talking about all that salt water moving north on the Mississippi because the river's been so low and it has been threatening the southern Louisiana's water supply, I should say. And it's not only that as an issue, but the Big Easy running a big deficit, more than 25 inches on the year. So let's talk about these downpours. And not only are we going to get a few into Louisiana, but it's going to get into Florida. It's going to get into Texas. Today, a lot of sunshine with just a few raindrops here into South Florida and into the Keys. But thanks in part to this in the Bay of Campeche with a 20% chance of development and some moisture from the Pacific and also into the Caribbean, we're going to see this entity move north and then get hooked up with some winds taking it eastbound. So Tallahassee, it's going to be a wet one Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have a little more sunshine coming in. You see the Caribbean moisture coming up. You see the, moisture from this entity coming up. And then we have a couple tropical systems along Mexico's coast. That's going to cross over and help bring us some moisture too. The flow does show, and you can see it right now in the clouds of everything just going from west to east across the Gulf of Mexico. And so watch all of this moisture really kind of combine and then make its way, boom, right into the Gulf Coast and into Florida. Very red. That's an indication of a lot of juicy atmosphere for us here. And it continues through the next several days. So as we go into our Wednesday and Thursday, that's when things really ramp up. Heaviest totals here in northern Florida and southern portions of Georgia. Flooding could occur tomorrow into midweek into Texas, and then see how everything shifts basically along that I-10 corridor for us. Watch it develop. This is Tuesday. There's our entity coming up. It brought some rain into Texas. Wednesday, it starts here along the Gulf Coast, and then really the bulk of that energy bringing a lot of showers Thursday morning here, anywhere from Tallahassee over into Charleston, and then we start to clear out a little bit. But we could have some big time totals here into southern Georgia and right around the capital of Florida. Molly.
Well, we need it. And another place we need
tropics, because we have a lot of action going on here. And don't forget, hurricane season goes until November 30th. And for those that are saying, oh, it's been a quiet tropical season. I had someone from South Florida call me being like, hey, there really's been not a whole lot. No, it's actually been extraordinarily busy, above average for us. We're going on to our S name storm with only 3 names left in the list. And I think that, one of the problems is if we don't have these huge, big hurricanes and multiple of them hitting, people are like, it's been a nothing season. Don't tell that to people here in Florida that got hit by Idalia, I'll tell you that. All right, 2 areas, one off Africa, one in the Bay of Campeche, and 2 areas off the coast of Mexico. They don't look so great. They're both tropical storms. You don't see this well-defined center, but there's still plenty of convection with both of them. They're both going to be moving into Mexico. And as we look at them, know that the moisture from these will be going over Mexico and then impacting us here in the lower 48. Our first tropical storm has hurricane watches and warnings along the coast, and it looks like it'll be coming in as we head into our early Wednesday. But notice this one will become a hurricane with 80-mile-per-hour winds. Otherwise, we have Tropical Storm Max with winds at 60 miles an hour, moving north now at 5 miles an hour. It was moving 6, so this thing has slowed down. It's going to take its sweet time as it comes ashore, but it will, and it will bring moisture in. So 80% now is our chance of development of our system here off of Africa. That's going to be moving northbound for us. There's the cluster of thunderstorms, sheer to the north, sheer to the south as well, and it's going to go right in between these 2 areas into some of those warmer water temperatures for us. And you can see the second little batch of storms coming off of Africa. That's going to catch up with that first bigger, better chance of development. You see them kind of merge together there. and then they go up into the Atlantic for us. Here we are. Sean is the next name on the list. 3 more names, and then we'll go to a supplementary list. It's not the Greek alphabet. We don't use that anymore. It's just a whole nother list that we'll use of names starting back at A. Jordan.
All right,
An annular solar eclipse will take place Saturday, and a whopping 6.6 million Americans live in its path. The moon will cover 91% of the sun's surface to create a stunning ring of fire. Meteorologist Alex Wilson has everything you need to know. It's Monday, October 9th at America's Morning headquarters, and we've got much needed rain coming to the Texas Gulf Coast this week. 80% of Texas in some stage of drought, with hill country in the Gulf an exceptional, the worst category, the most severe category. Yearly rainfall deficits running 8 inches in Austin, 5 below in Brownsville, and 4 in Houston. And this will not be a drought buster by any means, but every drop will help. And notice we have our heaviest rain here, Tallahassee on into southern Georgia. But as we walk along the I-10 corridor, take you into New Orleans, we're going to need a lot more than this to help out with the situation there along the Mississippi. Let's talk more about when these downpours kick in with Jordan.
You know, and some of us could
local universities will take them as well, because they have a lot of Caribbean student associations that do carnivals on campus. So I'd also contact your local student association. And
love it.
yeah,
It's great. Danny McCletchy, thank you so much for your time. Sustainability Program Manager for Watts Water Technologies and the CEO of Carnicycle. Nice.
Really good idea.
Really good idea.
Really good idea.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's have a look at our climate headlines with Molly McCullough. Molly.
All right, here's what's making headlines today. 20,000. When you think of it, though, there are thousands of satellites up there, and a lot of them are not even in operation right now. They're just kind of floating until they end up finally back on Earth at some point.
Yeah, but I worry about if there's collision, then you have little pieces, and that's
right.
It's a serious problem, especially as more satellites are getting sent up. Where
And
are they
more
all going to go? Right, more people, too.
Yeah.
Getting too crowded.
Molly, thank you so much for that. Well, there is a big holdup in our ability to manufacture electric vehicles. It takes a lot of time and resources to mine the metals to make EV batteries.
Yeah, but recycling programs are popping up across the country. CBS News senior national environmental correspondent Ben Tracy takes us to one of those facilities.
Weren't we just talking, was it last week or the week before, with all these golf courses and what they could do with them?
Yeah.
Or something?
There's
We were like, and I was like, oh, they
something here.
can make
Disc golf?
disc golf or whatever. And now apparently they can build schools on them.
That's
And
pretty cool. And I mean, if you've seen the size of these buildings, they are massive. Can't remember how many football fields you said, but like going inside of one, it looks even bigger. You're like, my goodness.
it's impressive.
It is impressive.
All right, let's check back in with Molly and a look at the weather. Molly, that's a big, speaking of big,
This is a big area of low pressure that's moving into the Pacific, which is approaching, and which I know a lot of people are excited about. Hopefully it's a good year.
Woo!
I can't believe it. It's just like shocking to me to see all that on
It was
the
just July.
Right,
What
it literally was just July. Molly, thank you.
Well, you hope that your house will protect you in a major storm, but these homes
Right.
specific, and I'm
Right.
like,
Oh, this
I haven't thought about that in so long.
This was my late night
That's right.
item that I would eat, you know, at the 2, 3 in the morning feeling. I remember those nacho boxes that you would open up and it would have the sauce and the meat and everything on them. I had a couple of those.
Did you? I was always, you know, just like 100 soft tacos.
Oh, yeah. I was
all day long.
so good.
They were so good. And now we've got this option to go to. And maybe, you know, maybe Taco Bell's still on your daily, you know, routine.
Yeah.
And you've got this option now. Just ask for sub the regular cheese and go with the vegan cheese.
There are becoming so many more options at all these
Yes.
different chains and restaurants so that's nice to see
right.
as well. All right, let's move on to hot topic number 2. Is your home full of stuff you need but don't use all the time?
Yes,
What
I
if
have
you
an area for it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Storage area. And I got it written on there and I'll pull it out maybe once a year.
What, you have it written down and organized?
Well, like camping gear's here.
Oh,
okay. I've got like yard gear here.
It's good to know you have camping gear because I'm going to need to borrow that maybe if I go. I
Great.
don't have any. What if you could spend your money on things like lawn tools or printers only when you need them? That's the idea behind one. And
Right.
I said it, so I don't know if legally this is binding or not. But like, I would love if you open, I'm going to go down a neighbor, because we also don't talk to our neighbors anymore. Back in the day, you knew what tools your neighbor had.
Right. And I ask my neighbor all the time for a printer because I don't have a printer. And I'm like, should I just go buy this thing I'm only using one time so I'm not that needy neighbor? So now I'm all in my head for this stuff. And it'd be so great if I just had something I could just real quick, whoop, done.
But you're super friendly with your neighbors. They probably wouldn't care. You come in the door, they won't even know you're there, and you do it.
You know, it's like the same thing. Like, hey, Steph, can I borrow this? Hey, can I borrow this?
Yeah.
Hey, can I borrow this? You're just kind of like,
But
can you get it
you
yourself?
are a good friend giving back to other people, too, that need stuff.
Mine is yours.
Right, so
Take
you're
the
cool with
camping
that.
gear.
All right.
Whenever you decide to go out. Okay. Do you start your day with a cup of coffee?
No.
Okay.
I don't like coffee.
It's a morning favorite around the world. It's unfortunately creating a lot of waste. So you're helping not create waste.
You're welcome.
Good job, Steph.
You're welcome.
Our caffeine addiction generates more than 22 billion pounds of waste around the world each year. But a team of Australian researchers, they're working on a plan to divert all that waste. There's a study from Australia. Learned you could put in concrete tires. A couple weeks ago, we talked about putting tires.
You know what? I feel like the
Plastic.
concrete is equivalent to your scrambled eggs or your omelet making.
You just put anything in there. You're right.
Because Jordan will put anything into his omelet. I feel like that's what concrete is. We can put anything into it
and just seal it up.
And makes it stronger.
Makes it stronger. I'm telling you, throw anything in eggs and it's good. All right, 2 million Americans are living without access to clean drinking water, relying instead of bottled water. But those bottles...
Welcome back to Pattern. For many people, seeing is the only way to believe and understand our climate crisis. And that's what makes our next guest so important.
Yep. Willie Cole is an artist in residence at Express Newark, and his artwork is helping people grapple with the problem our planet faces. Willie, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. And your pieces, Spirit Catcher and Luminless Lantern, are on display right now. Can you tell us a little bit about how you created those pieces?
Yes, I created those pieces with the help of 16
in residence at Express New York. Thank you so much for joining us today and being so creative. I love that it came to him in a dream too. I'm always waiting every night for something creative and inspiring.
The scary thing is we probably have had those dreams. We just don't act on them, or we don't remember them.
Yeah, I'm glad Willie remembered that one. For more stories like this. Pretty crazy how that happens. All of a sudden, you got blue, you know?
Do something.
All right, let's have a look at the weather with Molly here. Molly.
We are going to be watching this area and along the Mississippi River because that's where we desperately need it.
Over to Mobile, Pensacola, we all can take it. Molly, thank you for that.
Appreciate it.
Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Pattern. Did you know, or I should say, do you